Then we have the door button. So by hitting this button, we will have different types of doors, types and families. We have this family which has 4 different types, and we can select any type that we want. So we can select the double door and start placing it by clicking in the wall. It doesn't allow me to place it in any other place different than the wall. It only allows me to create it in the walls. Then I hit escape button from the keyboard and escape again to now be ready to select some other elements. By clicking in the door, I can change rapidly what type of door it can be. So I have now a door passage with a single, which is single, and it automatically adjusts the wall so it matches the door. So if we create some new walls inside of the building, we can do it right away by extending this wall and then creating new walls, which can be created by this button or by hitting the WA buttons as displayed in the screen, which is the shortcut for creating a wall. And all the buttons and elements have their own shortcuts, such as the R for doors and WN for windows, CL for columns, and such. Now, I will create some new walls here very fast with this new command and start placing new doors by hitting the R in here and in here. Here's another local. And this way we have created the first floor of our building. Then the same applies to windows. If we want to create windows, we hit the button of Windows in the architecture panel. We go to see the window that we want to create in the properties panel and select the type that we want. If we, by some reason, we don't have the window that we want, we can search it in Google by hitting window Revit family, and it will display some new types for us. We can go to images and see if it applies something to us. But I recommend going directly to this website, which is Beam Object, to select the families that you want. Here you will see real brands of real elements that have created their own 3D families, so you can use them in your projects. And as I see one family that I like, I hit download, and I see here all the different formats that are created. I deselect all of them, and the key is to select just the RFA, which is Revit family format, and then download the selection, because this way we will have the family alone and not into a folder if we downloaded several families or other formats. Now we can click and bring this to our project, and it will automatically recognize that family. So we will be able to put it in our project. How do we see this in 3D? We hit this house, which is the 3D button in the top panel, and we will see that everything is being created correctly in our project, um, with very little setup, and we are ready to go. We're ready to create the walls, the floors, the ground floor, the second floor, and the roof. Let me just connect this up to the level 2, and we are ready to go. So in the project browser, I can hit level 1 and I will go to this view once again. This button, it allows me to create a family in situ into the project. So I'm gonna hit this button, which is a component, which is the same, and it will let me put any family that I have already uploaded into the project. But if I wanna model it from scratch by my own, like in other softwares such as SketchUp, I can do it with this model in place button, where I will select the category I want to create, such as furniture, and then model it. We have plenty of them. We have all the categories such as floors, doors, etc. that we have here in this building section. Those are the categories, and within we have the families, which are, for example, single door, and the type, which is 72 um, inches type. This is the cascade that we have in Revit: categories, families, and types. I'm gonna proceed to select the furniture, which I can label as desk. It's already created, so let me put another one, this one, and I can start creating my own family within the project. If I double click it, I can start to modify it again. And when I am done, I click finish button. Just make sure where is the extrusion end and where does it start. Gonna put 3 feet for it to finish, and then we will have this height too for that element. Next button we will see is columns. So for columns, we have column which are architectural and CL which are structural. There's no difference between those columns. You can create the column with the abbreviation CL and it will create a structural column, which is okay. So from the architectural standpoint, you have to place some columns to prepare the model for the structural engineer to know where the columns have to be located. So to start off with the column uh, positioning is that I select C or hit CL or select the architecture and then the column button. And in the top there will be displayed a new green bar, which is the properties bar. And we will see these two options, which is depth or height. If you select depth, the column will be created from this the level to the ground. So it will be created underneath the level we are. And height, it will be created from the level to the superior level. So if we select level 2, it will be created up to level 2. So if you're an architect, you might select high because you are thinking from the ground to the second floor. And it's the same. You select in the properties, you select the type that you want. If you want a concrete column, you hit this one and start placing them within the places that you want. Then another way to create the columns is by positioning them into the grids. So what is a grid? It is a reference for it to be easier to locate the project in the construction site. How do we create grids inside this program? It will be located in the architecture panel, and at the end in the right section you will find the grid, which is GR for the abbreviation. And then it's normally positioned in the walls, so we can start creating the grids. Again, the first grid that I create is gonna be name 1, the second is gonna be name 2, and if I change the name here for a letter, the next grid that I put will be name the second letter, which is B. So I told you can create columns in the intersection of the grids. So I proceed to 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 hit CL, and then at the top of the panel of the properties panel, you will find this add grid button, which you want to select if you want to create the columns within the grids. Now what we do is do an arrange where we select the grids and at the intersection of those grids, the columns will be placed. This is a preview, which is halftone. So if I click finish, now they wanna be created. How are they seen? So in the 3D view, we have all the columns placed in the correct place.